Hello, salutations. Welcome to All Things Chadwick. I don't know why I do that. Let me tell you, salutations was something that I remember from Charlotte's Web, and I've always been fond of that lovely greeting, salutations. Anyway, welcome to my channel. I am so excited the other day I looked and I was like at 200 and some odd subscribers, and that's just thrilling because I remember being so excited that 20 people subscribed, and then 50. Oh my gosh, I was expecting 20, and then I was like 100. So, and I know some of you are like, I know YouTubers who have tens of thousands and millions subscribers. That's fine. I'm excited to have 207 or 210 or something like that. So thank you for watching and subscribing, and I'm getting lots of comments, and I can tell that the channel is kind of opening up because now I have a few subscribers from other countries and people that ask me questions or will email my little email that down there or comment, people I don't know. So that's exciting to me. I enjoy it and I love it. Christmas is kaput. It's finished. It's over. We're waiting on the new year. And something popped up in my social media memories today that I thought was interesting, and I love it, and it's great. And this video is not for everyone. This video is not for old fogies, I would say. And I guess you'll understand that in a few minutes. But I posted this to my social media outlets like Facebook, Instagram, those so forth, a few years ago, and then I posted it again 2 years ago and a year ago, and I posted it again just a little while ago. And it's this: things you don't need to feel guilty about. And I can even put a picture there so you can screenshot it and save it to your media if you want to. Because, you know, lots of us, if not all of us, deal with unnecessary guilt from time to time. Maybe some of you, some of us, a lot, not just from time to time, but a lot, every day, or like multiple times throughout the day, feeling guilty for just the silliest little things, you know, that we carry around on our shoulders. And then at the end of the day, we're so downtrodden and guilt-ridden over things that we should not feel that way. So let me just go through these simple little things. Leaving a job that drains the life out of you. Now, I don't just mean your career job, but still, I'll tell a little story. I had been employed for about 16, 17 years with some people that I absolutely, to this day, adore. So this was not a personal decision. It was just the work that I was doing had become, it was not for me anymore. It was wonderful, the experience, the things that I learned, oh my God. And it was very valuable to me. But the job itself, what I was doing, had become very draining. And I had told my husband for about the last 2 or 3 years, from time to time, I would say, oh gosh, today this and this and this, or this person, or this, these things, just the work in general. And he would say, well, honey, just find you something else. I would say, oh no, and I had all these reasons. You know, oh my gosh, I would feel so guilty because my insurance, and we have children, and our bank, and the money that I'm making, and all these things. And finally, after about 2 years, he said, one day I came home and I was just drained and ill and in a bad mood. And he said, how long would it take you to write a letter, resignation letter? And I said, oh God, I've been writing resignation letters for 3 years, but I've never turned any in. It's just, you know, I just can't. And he said, turn in your letter and in 2 weeks you're finished. Find you something else to do. Find whatever, you know, you need to get rid of all this guilt and stress. And indeed, that's what I did. And my life has been completely and utterly changed for the better. Now, I don't mean there's been a couple of little health hiccups along the way. I'm not talking about my health. I'm talking about just in general. I make my own schedule. We are doing very well financially, and I'm grateful. knocking wood and whatever you do, glass. Good health insurance. I love the people that I do work with now. I'm self-employed for the most part, and I'm employed with my theater. And here I am on a weekday at 11:20, and I had brunch with a friend this morning, and I set my own calendar, so it's great. Okay, let's get on with this. That's one story. The second one, this is a big one. Declining a phone call. So let's just say your friend Julie is calling, and you're like, oh gosh, I really need to get that. And in your mind, you know how quickly things can run through your mind. If I don't get it, she'll be this or this or this, mad or disappointed or wonder where I am or why I didn't call her back. And it's like, if you can't get it right now, that's on them. Now, I know there's arguments to every one of these. I'm sure they're good arguments, but we're not here to argue. If you are in a place where you're not in a place where you want to talk for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 45 minutes, it's your life. That doesn't mean you don't love someone or you don't want good for them or want everyone to be benefited. But do I have to give up 5, 10, 45 minutes of my life to talk to Julie to make sure she's content? I don't think so. I used to think so. I wanted everybody to be happy and everyone to like me and okay, let me move on. Doing what's best for you despite what others think or say. Well, now, Chadwick, you really should. Now, Chadwick, if you think about it, you know that the best thing would... Well, now, honey, I appreciate advice, and I appreciate people who... I'm just sitting here in my skinnies, sorry, who really have my best interest in mind, and they do give me, share with me their thoughts. But sometimes people who just want to tell you what to do or what you need to do because it's what they would do. No, I don't do that. I haven't done it for years, and I'm not going to start doing it again. The next one, saying no. This year, I did pretty good at Christmas time. Last year, I did it again. Every person that called me, will you play for this event? Will you play for that event? Will you do this? Will you do that? A musical thing. Can you do... I just decided my holidays are often not ruined, but so impeded. My personal holiday time is so impeded by, I have to be there, I have to be here, I have to go, I have to. And this year I was like, even a couple of things that I said, I'll look at it music-wise. And I thought, this is going to be so time-consuming. And I just, even though I love these people, but I had to say, I can't. No, not that I can't. It's not that I can't, but I cannot do it for the benefit of me. To benefit me, I'm not going to put all this added stress and pressure on me. Saying no is okay. Now, if you were, okay, again, I'm not going to go into all the arguments. The next one, sleeping in. I am not a sleep-inner. I bet I haven't slept in years. Now, that doesn't mean that here's my sleeping in. Get up, have my breakfast at 6:30 or 7, and go to the sofa and kind of snuggle over and turn on a good movie. I do not feel guilty. I don't care what you say or Henry or Joe or Susie says. Tom, Dick, and Harry. I don't... Occasionally. And even if for you can physically sleep in more often than me or her or she, I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Even in the last several months, I would think, oh gosh, my husband's at work, and I would feel guilty about, I have a couple of hours this morning where I don't have to be at the theater, or I don't have to be at church, or I don't have to be giving lessons, or I don't have to meet with this person about, and I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty anymore. The next one, asking for your needs to be met. Rather than give examples, I'm just going to say, think about that. That's really good for thought, food for thought. Asking for your needs to be met. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed and encompassed with fulfilling everyone else's needs, taking care of the children or your partner or your parents and your staff, your coworkers, especially at the holidays, buying gifts for, and you end up ill or not sleeping well or overstressed or the effects of stress on your body. There's nothing wrong with stopping and saying to that close personal friend or relative, I need a break. I need this. Here's some things that I need right now. Or even just to yourself, Chadwick, what do you need today? And I do that often, even in the mirror. I do the mirror thing. Chadwick, I love you, and I'm doing everything I can do to take care of you. Or if my shoulder, just rub my shoulder, I'm taking care of you today, and I'm going to move you and relax you, and it really helps. Look up Louise Hay if you want more information about that. Next, I'm going to move along. Your dreams and aspirations. Do not feel guilty about your dreams, your aspirations. They don't have to be daddy's or mama's or grandpa's or Uncle George, who is super famous or popular or who made good money and had a fabulous career. Don't feel guilty about your dreams and aspirations. If you have just a tiny little dream of, I want to sit and make bracelets, and that makes you happy, sit and make bracelets. If you want to dive for lobsters off the coast of Maine, dive for lobsters off. If you want to dress up like a woman and put on the big old lips and those big tall heels and go to the club and make people laugh and cry, do it! Don't feel guilty about it. If you're not hurting anybody and you're not letting anybody hurt you, go for it. Okay, next. I'm going to skip one because I'm going to come back to it later. Removing someone from your life. That's a touchy one. And that's very tricky. And it has to be done carefully. But sometimes it has to be done. And it can be done. And I feel guilty. I admit there are a few of these that I still struggle with guilt, but sometimes it's like you just need some distance. It's just draining you. It's toxic. You just have to absolutely carefully erase it. I won't say anymore. If you want to know more, let's talk personally. Spending money on something you want. I don't mean being frivolous and not being able to pay your bills at the end of the month. Or, just doing something stupid. But occasionally, there's nothing wrong with getting on Amazon and, hey, here are these little things for $8 or $80 if you can afford it that I have really, really, really wanted. Honey, just do it and don't feel guilty about it. And I suggest, too, that you get in the mode of not hiding it from your significant other or whoever thinks they have control over you. If you think somebody has control over you and you can't get something you need or want without 21 questions and feeling guilt, honey, then you need to check yourself. It's not healthy. Taking a break from social media. I have lots of friends that do that from time to time, and I admire and honor that. Namaste. I've never done that. I have kind of waned from maybe Facebook and Instagram. I'm not really off of Instagram, but I rarely post on there. And sometimes I'll go days and days without really doing anything on Facebook or YouTube. But I admire people that think I need a break and they just either, put their profiles in a stagnant place or, delete them even. Don't feel guilty about it. I cannot believe you unfriended me. I won't even go there. Setting boundaries and sticking to them. I've done that a little bit in the last few years. Sticking to them, not so much. But sometimes, you have to set, just like a dog, you don't want your dog to run out in the road, so you put those little underground fence things and his little collar on so he doesn't get out in the road and get killed. Boundaries are good. Just like space, you need space. Don't feel guilty about setting a boundary and saying, here am I, even if you have to physically say, I'm sorry, no, I don't do that. No, I'm not going to. No, you can't. This is my life. This is my body. Now I'm going to go back to the one that I skipped a minute ago. Right here. Your spiritual beliefs. My beliefs are my beliefs. It's really none of your business. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't talk about what I think, know, believe, am sure of with you. But if you're going to do it and try to guilt me, if you're going to sit at the coffee shop and try to guilt me over what you think spiritually or politically or whatever, then I'm finished. It's this easy. Blowing out a candle. I'm done with that conversation. It's so easy for me to just pick up my keys and my purse or bag and go to my car. Don't guilt me about spiritual beliefs. Whether it's, friends who are really, really religious or Christian or whatever. It's usually, in my neck of the woods, it's usually the Christian community that wants to lovingly sometimes. I believe that it often comes from a good place, a loving heart, but they end up guilting people into believing a certain way or believing a certain thing. I think you need to believe what you know to be true, what you have found to work for you. It's just like, if almond milk is the only milk that works for you, then drink almond milk. If almond milk makes you throw up every time you drink it, then quit drinking it, for God's sake. I know those are silly little simple examples, but if going to church every Sunday is not your thing and it just drains you and, oh my gosh, you dread it and it's just not serving you and you don't feel close to any spiritual being or higher power when you're there, then don't. Don't go sit there thinking, I'm just here to keep Susie happy and Granddaddy happy and the preacher and his wife happy. I'll just tell you, I think that's stupid. So there are things that you don't need to feel guilty about. Now, let me bring all that back together with be loving and kind, be sweet and understanding when possible. It's okay to understand someone that's in their place doing their thing. You can understand. That doesn't mean you agree. I understand that you feel that way. It makes perfect sense to me that you feel a certain way, but I don't. So I know this isn't the normal all things Chadwick, but this is a big part of Chadwick. I have evolved in the last 10 years. I'm thankful for my husband that's played a big role in that, even though I don't think he would think he has. And some of my beautiful, beautiful friends had no idea that I would feel the least bit emotional about this. But I have friends who have been my friends for years who have taught me so much about not feeling guilty about being me. Because God, I felt guilty for 35, 40 years, 45 years. about being me. I felt guilty about it. Can you imagine? Some of you can't imagine feeling guilty about being you. And so when you come to the realization that I don't have to feel guilty anymore about being me, it's a load off. And then when you have people around you that still want to guilt you, ugh, it's traumatic. So I suggest that you seek to be loving and kind and understanding, but seek to be free from guilt. That's what I hope for me this year. I hope that, I don't think my husband deals with guilt very much, if at all. I want my children to be free from guilt. I want my friends and people that I love, and you people that watch All Things Chadwick, watch me, to have a life that is freer from guilt. I think the more we can rid ourselves of that, the happier and the more content we will be. If there's anything that I can do for you via YouTube, I will do my best to do it. If I'm in the mood, it doesn't guilt me. But I want to help people, and I love people, and I love you. I truly, truly do. And I will see you soon, one way or another. Cheers, everyone. And now I'm on my way through town thinking, I can't post that video. What if somebody I'm kind of feeling guilty over it. I'm not going to do it. I'm posting it, I swear. Okay, bye.